From Navy pilot to auto shop marketing pro, James Griffin's journey to niche domination in this special after hours episode of the Mining Your Business podcast. Welcome to the Mining Your Business podcast. I'm CJ Jolliffe with everybody's favorite co-host,
Aaron Gerald. Glad to be here.
Awesome. So we have another edition of the after hours, special edition after hours. We have a guest today. And Aaron, why don't we just jump right into it? Let's bring James in. Okay. So everyone, this is James Griffin of, well, you got a couple things, but auto shop marketing pros, right?
Yep.
So James, just give us a quick overview or in-depth overview, however far you want to go into what you do, who your market is, how you got started. Let's just jump in.
Okay. Yeah. So did you want me to talk about kind of the background first?
Yeah. What is your business? And then let's jump into like how you got into that.
Okay. Yeah. So my main business is Auto Shop Marketing Pros. It's kind of the other part of JM Pro Consulting, which we do kind of general marketing. But my main focus now is Auto Shop Marketing, which is primarily online advertising, Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube, websites for primarily the auto service industry. So auto repair, auto body shops, paintless dent repair shops, some detailers and custom shops. So that's kind of the main piece. And then it's really advertising for those shops. So recurring maintenance, monthly advertising for those shops to get more, what I say is get more calls, more quote requests, and increase your car count.
Yeah. Well, and I know, you've done a really, really good job of niching down and finding your industry. So that's something we've discussed back and forth many times. And, I know you don't do this on purpose, but I always walk away feeling like a loser because I am not the niche down person. I'm much more of a generalist.
No.
But it takes all types, right? So how in the world did you get into, auto shop marketing and I think consulting and marketing in general?
Yes. I mean, really the initial part was, I could take it back. Initially, I was in the Navy.
Awesome.
I actually retired from the Navy. Before that, before even getting into business, for a long time, even in high school, college, I was always kind of into finance and stuff. But my goal was to be a Navy pilot, which I did that, and that's a whole story in itself. But at some point, I think it was about 7, 8 years in, we had these wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and so the Navy was sending all these people to help the Army out, basically out of your specialty. So I was a pilot, but yet we're sending people to augment stuff. And I got this, lo and behold, I got this free ticket to Afghanistan to help them out. I'm like, oh, yay. And so at that point, a lot of guys were doing these executive MBAs, other programs. And I was like, no, if the Navy wants me to do that, they'll pay for it. And then a guy was telling me about all these programs, Harvard, Wharton, all these programs. And then after I got that, I said, hey, what's that program you're doing? So my thought was, hey, if I come back all messed up, I want to have a way to get out and do something else.
Sure.
So I ended up signing up for an online program. I did the majority of the program while I was in Afghanistan. So I was literally 4 classes at a time, which is kind of crazy now to think about it. Wow. But I mean, there was no family. So it's basically you're staying up all night and there's nothing else to do.
Right.
Doing these classes while I was doing my job there. Came back and finished that. And that may have helped me in the Navy, but then I was still only 9 years in, and I ended up staying in 21. But a few years later, I started reading tons of business books and just looking for something to do so that I wouldn't have to be committed to a job after I got out.
Right.
And so I was trying different businesses. We tried some MLM businesses, and that didn't work out too well. But that kind of got me into other stuff, looking for other things. And basically about 2016, 17, something like that, I started finding like the digital marketing world.
Okay.
And so I really started with websites and, found some ways to do websites, which I know you're probably much better at me than website.
I've got people that are better than me. So that's, I've gotten not that great anymore, but yes.
So I started learning that and then getting into that. And then That kind of got me into the auto world. And here's where it happened: was I was literally full time, in the Navy in DC at this point, and kind of an executive job there. I was at the Pentagon before, but now I was at another position the last 4 years and looking for clients. Well, it's kind of hard to do it while you're working full time, but yet
Right.
I was looking on these places. I was looking on next door and all these weird little spots. And someone had posted, I wasn't really running ads at that point for myself, but someone had posted, "Hey, we need help doing marketing for this shop."
Yeah.
So I messaged them back and said, "Hey, I can help you out if you still need it." And they said, "Okay, call this person, call this guy." And his website looked horrible. I mean, he literally did paintless dent repair for Ferraris. I mean,
Wow.
he had I think it was Ferrari of Washington D.C. and other places in there, but his website didn't had like the weird little lights. If you're familiar with paintless dent repair, I don't even know what it means now, but it shows the dents, but no one knows what that really means. It's like, well,
Right.
you're fixing $1 million cars here, but yet your website looks like a child.
Yes. Yes.
So I went to him and you know said, "Hey, I'll build your website, but hey, I'll do it for free. Why don't we? But I'll do online. I'll do advertising every month."
Okay.
And so that basically, I had learned Google Ads and learned and had been doing some Facebook ads for people, but that really got me into that auto space. And he knew because he came from another dent repair shop that had been doing Google Ads, and he knew it worked, but he just wasn't doing it well.
Okay.
So when we came in and we started doing it, it worked like right away. And uh, I think I mean, he's still a client of mine. He's still a personal friend of mine. I mean, so
Awesome.
uh, we've worked with other businesses that he's created, and as well, another kind of a bigger one that can get pretty big. It's a paintless dent repair training, like a training school. So
Okay.
hopefully that blows up, but that's kind of how I got into it. And then I was still kind of doing the generalist thing, like you had said. And at this point, I probably would take some people, but I'm less likely to take them, uh, and now just focus on auto, just because it's so easy to duplicate and
Right.
replicate the success.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I actually, I at one point was very niched down. I got a similar start where it was one client, and I started. It was website, like business cards, you know, brochure. I basically kind of did all their marketing. It was for a guy that had a monster truck. He even had a Hot Wheels.
Yeah,
It was really cool. Shocker was the monster truck, and so, but he had a shop locally that he was doing, like lifting trucks and all kinds of cool stuff. This is like mid 2000s, like 2003, 2004, and then I started getting more and more of those types of clients where it was aftermarket, auto parts and stuff. And
right.
so I had like I would go to SEMA in Las Vegas every year. It was like the big show for all the auto manufacturers and aftermarket parts manufacturers, and that was all awesome until like the housing crash happened,
Yeah, yeah,
and then all of a sudden people stopped spending money on their toys, and I had several clients just go out of business,
yeah,
and so that's one of the reasons I tend to be a little more broadly focused. But what's awesome about what you've built is, you've built this like industry and it's vertical, right? So now you
right,
could pick another industry and build that one up using kind of the same methodology that you used over here. So I
right.
think it's really cool. And then there's nothing, you know, there's different strokes for different folks, but so for the Facebook marketing and like, so are you doing like Google ads, like banners and that kind of stuff, or are you doing search engine marketing, like
Yeah. So,
which,
so for Google, I mean, obviously, if you're familiar with Google, they've got so many placements now,
yes,
which in my experience, still just the search component is the best for most of these local shops,
yeah,
just because if they're not capitalizing on those searches, then they're not really the other things are not going to help as much either.
right, that's
So
where the low hanging fruit is, yeah,
exactly. I mean, so for most places, if you're in a, even if you're in a small town, there's probably 30 to 50,000 searches per month for stuff like auto repair, auto body shops. Once you get into bigger cities, it's at least 50,000, 100,000 plus, sometimes 500,000 searches for stuff like that.
Wow.
And the cost is not that much per click.
Okay.
So unless you're capitalizing on that, the other things, it's just a matter of numbers. I mean, how much, is a lead worth? Okay, if you're spending this much more money, are you getting the leads from it?
Right.
So most of the people we're dealing with are, okay, let's focus on the Google search component. And then we can expand to, we can also do Facebook ads, YouTube as well, but let's make sure we're capped, because that's a recurring demand constantly,
Right. So would you put, it sounds like you would say like search engine marketing, like search results
Right.
marketing is probably your number one, like do that first and then branch out into banner ads and social media. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. So it kind of depends on, one would be the specific shop, and then two would be the location. So, and I kind
Okay.
of written this out. I've got to talk to people about this. I mean, so body shops and auto repair, those types of things typically have a large search volume. So I would typically say, hey, let's start on Google for those. Now, if you understand Google, it can take a little bit more time for it to start working, although we've seen
Sure.
it work right away. And Google will say, hey, it takes several months. But
Right.
I mean, we've seen leads very quickly. But at the same time, it's like, well, and I've got these clients, they'll say, hey, it turned on, and you turned it on and we started getting leads day one. I was like, well, maybe that's
Yes,
good.
that's a happy accident, right?
Yeah,
I
but I'm
mean,
not going to promise that to anyone.
right.
Uh, so, I mean, so for those large search volumes, yes, I'd probably go with that. And then some of the other ones, paintless dent repair, the detailing, the cosmetic stuff, it can be kind of very variable depending on the location. And
Okay.
then Facebook ads can get quicker results on some of those leads. For body shops and auto repair, I'd still probably just go with Google.
Okay.
Google search.
Yeah, I mean, I could see
So,
definitely like paintless and like any kind of like
yeah,
little before and afters doing really
right.
well on social. But
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
Aaron, you looked like you had something you wanted to ask.
Yeah, because it's just as I was listening to you talk, Jim, maybe I'm misunderstanding or maybe I'm understanding. I don't know if I'm getting a clear picture. But it sounds like for a fire, you advertise on Google because like auto repair, the starter is out. We got to get it fixed right now. Where to
Yep.
get a starter? Like they're
Yep.
instantly doing it. But for something like a dentless paint repair or upholstery repair or something that's like, well, we could get it done now or later. They're more warm. And
Right.
so you could advertise where they go, wait, I think I saw somebody on. So it's more recognition versus like in your face, hey, right here, do it. Kind of a thing. Am I understanding that correctly or no?
Yeah. So exactly. The demand is typically for, collision, auto repair type stuff. That's typically the demand in a higher density area, say like Springfield versus St. Louis or versus, Tampa or Chicago, those big New York City, there's going to be a big volume for paintless dent repair. As you get out in the middle of nowhere, not many people are searching for it. So yeah, Facebook ads is typically better
Okay.
for that. At the same time, and what I tell people is, I mean, you can actually attract the people that you want. You can target those people that you want, who want to do the upgrades, who want to fix their cars, because we can target people who love their car. And there's a lot of
Right.
people out there who will, I mean, they'll spend money to fix their BMW before they, fix their kids' teeth, like you're talking about earlier. So I mean, they love their cars more than, which is kind of sad, but I mean, I don't advocate that, but they might love their cars more than other things that other people.
Right.
So, but we can take advantage of that by doing those things. And then certain paintless dent repair, like hail repair, which we've got ads going on right now in these locations, you can have Facebook ads the next day, same day, targeting a very small area, showing, hey, if you're seeing this video, your car may have been damaged in a hailstorm. And a lot of those people may not be searching for it because they may not even know.
Right.
They may have been asleep when hail, or like, oh, I can't see hail damage. If you can see hail damage, then your car's probably totaled. But it's those little dents that kind of add up if you look at in the lights. And that's the kind of thing where, hey, you might have been in a hailstorm. You should probably get this fixed. And it's, oh, by the way, it might not cost you anything. Might be free. Because
Wow.
due to insurance, you know.
Yeah. That's actually a great. I imagine you'd be watching the weather in certain areas. Yeah, when a storm comes through, like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
great.
weather, and then there's hail maps. I mean, there's software that shows you where these hail, because I mean, with hail repair, you could have got it on one side and the other side of the street may have not have got it.
Right.
So that's why you want to be very precise with the location targeting.
Very nice. So obviously you're doing Facebook and Instagram. Do you mess around with any other socials, or do you just kind of stick with those?
I mean, as far as ads go, mostly just those two. Some YouTube for if people are already maximizing the Google ads, the Facebook, YouTube, or Facebook, Instagram, then YouTube as well. For some of the hail repair, it can just be Facebook and YouTube because you can get that targeting as well.
Yeah.
So it just depends on how much people are spending. So I mean, if people aren't spending any money on ads, then okay, well, we got to start at the low end. But if they're spending a lot more, then we can kind of start including those other locations.
Okay. Yeah.
So
like X, TikTok, not really in your.
Yeah, definitely not X. And
I can totally see X. X is where I spend my time.
Yeah.
And I'm on X because I don't want to be on the other things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, TikTok, we have done some, you know, with kind of the legal issues that they faced over the last year. I'd
totally understand that.
I've been pushing to focus on the ones that are probably not going to get taken down.
Right.
Granted, it may not get taken down, but that's why we focused more on the other two.
Yeah, why put all your eggs in one basket?
Yeah. TikTok, we've seen a lot of results for people just posting organically. Even another business of ours has gotten a lot just posting things and using hashtags and stuff like that. Things that used to work on Facebook and Instagram work very well on TikTok for now. So.
Okay. So kind of shifting gears, how did you actually grow your business? You know, from getting that first client, right? We heard about that story, but then how did you get client, number 3, number 5, 15? Like, was it just word of mouth, or are there like tactics you took to promote yourself?
Yeah. I mean, so initially it's, figuring things out, like you said, word of mouth and getting those guys. But one thing I tell people is that the word of mouth and referrals are great and everybody wants that, but you can't just turn that switch on. You can't, hey, let's get a lot more word of mouth this week or this month.
Right.
So one of the things I think a lot of businesses saw growth during COVID, and it's really where, I was still literally full-time in the Navy, but in March, whatever date that was, it just turned on, and then we stayed home. I stayed home for the last year and a half I was in.
Okay.
And, weird time, but during that time, during 4 years, 3 of those years I was working and trying to do stuff, after hours and all that stuff. But once that COVID time came around, I was at home and okay, I can get things done fast. Kind of like I got things done fast in Afghanistan with the MBA.
Yeah.
And so during that time, actually, I was already looking at all these courses and stuff, and I'm not sure if there's a guy named Billy Jean. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but big marketing guy. And he had an offer to, hey, I'll build your ad. And then he basically did it. The funny thing was I was doing ads for other people, but it wasn't so much for myself. But once he showed me, or his team showed me how to do one thing, and I was able to just basically convert that into the auto shop side. So initially I was running ads, and I was running ads for restaurants.
Okay.
To try to get restaurants during COVID, which probably wasn't a good thing. But I was getting leads. I got tons of leads, but it didn't work out too well. And I had taken all these like a restaurant marketing course and some other stuff, and a lot of the same ideas work for almost any kind of small business.
Yeah.
And so after they initially helped me create that ad and it worked, I basically joined their program, and conveniently enough, the government gave us I don't know if how much money they gave you, but I mean, they were giving me, I mean, I think I got $10,000, $15,000, even though I was an '05 in the Navy. So I was not doing bad. I was
Right.
doing very
Right.
well. I
Right.
didn't need any money from them, but I'm like, okay. So I put that all into the course, and I joined this full mastermind, which he offered so many things. They stopped doing it. And it was almost daily calls with people on his team. And it was just learning from people kind of like you, and learning from people from all their different sectors. And so from that, I shifted over to the auto side, and I'm like, wait, I've got proven results here. Let me see if I can advertise to auto shops. So at that moment, I just started getting tons of leads per month. And then I'm like, okay, I'm getting all these leads. I need to figure out how to sell to people.
Mm,
So it was the marketing was there. Okay, I can turn on these ads anytime I want and get leads. Now I need to sell. And so it was kind of a growth process there.
yeah.
So now I mean, there's the ads, which I can turn on ads now, and I've done some different things recently, learning from people about really promoting workshops on YouTube, and kind of getting those videos ranked, so that for your certain keywords.
Sure.
And that's actually really helped in the last 3 or 4 months. So, but the ad part, I can really turn on ads and get leads on demand now.
So let's talk a little bit about that sales process. And so I think it's awesome that you joined a mastermind, right? I mean, I think there's so much value in that. If nothing else, it's a little bit of osmosis. It's a little bit of accountability, right?
Right.
You're learning things from all the people that are around you. You're all kind of learning together and from each other, but you're also like, you don't want to show up and not have put the time in, not done your homework.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's a lot of power in that, but how did that, when you got to the point where it's like, okay, I have all these leads, now I need to close them, right?
Well,
What did your like initial sales process look like? And then how has it changed over the years?
yeah. I mean, so my background was I was a pilot and
Right.
in executive management in the Navy. So, leading hundreds of people, or leading kind of part of a squadron and a command and Springfield. So basically, I studied leadership and stuff, but not really sales.
Right. Right.
And so there's different aspects of that. And I mean, I still would say I don't like to sell, although I think if you're in business, you really need to embrace that and know that if your product is good, product or service is good, then it's your duty to sell it to people,
Yeah.
not to convince them to buy something they don't need, but hey, you want leads, right? You want more business, then you should get this.
Right.
So initially, I mean, it was going through these courses and learning to sell stuff and writing out scripts, which I've still got some on my wall here. I really
Nice.
don't look at them anymore, and then really calling back leads as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And then realize, okay, half of these guys don't even know why they submitted their information, and then getting them into a sales call. And I mean, and so part of it was, okay, I'm giving them so much free stuff, free advice, and then later, oh yeah, I'm not going to buy anything. And then some would, some won't.
Okay. Yeah.
Wouldn't, but over the years, it's kind of been more, letting people book their own appointments, and then filtering out those people that say they don't have money. Because now I've kind of I've got a mini kind of funnel type deal where it says, okay, name, email, phone number, business, website, all that stuff. And then, I have the resources to invest in my company. I can get it, or I don't have it. And if the people,
Good question.
the people that click, they don't have money, I just send them after they submit it, I send them to a page saying, thank you, but we can't help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a course or something you can look
I was
at.
gonna say that's a great place to have like a course that's a low cost course that kind of teaches them, here are the things you could do that they could do on their own, at least open their eyes to it, so you're at least making something off of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is that like? So my process has changed throughout the years. And I would say for the different businesses, it is a different sales process. For example, had someone request a proposal for a website for one of the businesses yesterday, and it was as simple as putting their information in and hitting enter, and literally within 2 minutes they were sent an email with a proposal, and they could review it and see what it costs and sign up, because that's the, that was a very, very hot lead.
Right.
Where there's the complete other side, where it's like there's a lot of education, a lot of questions, a lot of nurturing. So what is it? Do you have like a initial call and then like, hey, let me put together something, and then schedule a follow-up call? Like what's that process look like for you?
Yeah. So right now it's kind of, they'll fill out that form on my website or funnel or ads or whatever, or kind of for the people who are the Facebook ad leads, who they're giving me their information, telling me what kind of shop they have. Now I kind of have a AI chat bot system that will basically follow up with these people and say, hey, I saw that you just requested our strategies. What kind of shop do you have? Even though they've already told me that.
Right.
And surprisingly, these people go into all the details with them, and they'll tell them everything. And then say, okay, hey, great. Why don't we schedule a call? And so that'll automatically schedule the call. And since implementing that, it's probably bad. I don't really call cold leads back, or not cold, but the ones that just fill out the form.
Yeah.
I don't really call those back. The bot will just handle it.
Okay.
And so then we'll have the scheduled call, and we'll have an appointment system that automatically reminds them, even though crazy happened this week, the guy has gotten multiple texts and emails, and then he forgot that he scheduled the thing.
Yeah, that happened.
So,
it's always a good measure on whether or not they're serious, though.
Yeah. But at the same time, some of those people have multiple shops. So it's like, okay, well, I'll call you back next week.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we get on the call, and I'll go through them, and I will have already sent them kind of my strategy video, which goes through everything I'm going to do on the call. Some people listen to it. Most people don't.
Right.
And we'll go through it, and I'll ask them a few questions, and I'll go through stuff as quick as possible. And if I went through the full thing, it would be, 45 minutes or an hour.
Right.
But ideally it's showing them, hey, what is your basic online presence look like? Here's the keys that I say that you need, but I'll kind of tell her that, hey, you already got a website, looks great. You've got this and this and this, looks great. What do you want? What do you need help with?
Right.
And so part of it is, what do you need help with? Oh, I need leads. Okay, well, here's the thing. You've got this much demand. And then I'll say, all right, what do we do from here? I don't offer them anything. I just say, what do you want to do from here? Okay, well, if they don't ask for my help, then I'm not going to give it to them. But usually they'll say, okay, well, what does it look like for you to work with us? So I'll show them that. And for our price point, it's usually, if people are already running ads and stuff, it's like, oh, that's it. Yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of the deal. Is I'll go through that, and now I've also got this kind of I call it the auto shop marketing calculator, and it basically shows them, it's the same thing as I plug in, but I was shown this thing on a kind of a spreadsheet, and I'll plug in the numbers and show them, okay, hey, based on this, you need this many leads, and here's what it's probably going to cost you. Now, you don't need to spend that much now if you're not doing any marketing, but if you can only spend 20, 50 bucks a day, here's how many leads you can probably get.
Yeah.
And if you're only going to close 4 out of 10 or 10, 5 out of 10, then this is what it's probably going to cost to get your goal. And most people have never even thought about it or thought about that. Now I've built that into a calculator on our website as well. So it kind of looks better.
So this is I'm super interested in your opinion on this. And this is something I ask anyone that's doing any kind of, advertising, right? So what would you say the minimum monthly spend would be on whatever the platform is, where it's like, if you don't spend at least this much, you shouldn't even mess with it?
Well, tell me how many more customers go up per day.
Well, I don't know. I'm just looking, so like, for example, Eric Yoon, we talked to him last After Hours episode, and he actually thought that if you spent like even just $200 on Instagram and did it the right way, that it would be worthwhile. My barometer for that is like, I kind of feel like it's closer to 800 or 1,000. But that's from my years
Yeah.
and years of baggage in marketing and advertising. So
Right.
I'm super interested, like you might
Yep.
say like it's, no, you could spend, $10 a day or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a good example. I actually have this calculation pulled up, and so for a body shop, think about your car got in an accident, how much that costs to fix.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's just a dent at a body shop, it's going to be a couple $1,000s.
Right.
Now that's where the paintless and repair side can come in and fix things for cheaper if it's not cracked paint. But a body shop, I mean, it can be 2, 3, 4,000, 8, 10,000 or more, depending on how high end the car is. So one customer can be that much. Now that's not a profit, obviously, but it's still
Right.
pretty good. And I talked to someone recently that said, well, for one of my shops, if I just get one more customer per day, then it's pretty good. I'm like, okay. And then I'll say, how many days are you open? Most are open 5 days a week, but this guy says 7. So
Okay.
he wants 28 more customers a month. I'm like, okay, that's not bad. And then the average lead cost for these guys on Google or Facebook it's typically $10 to $20 per lead. So I say, let's just say 20 bucks a lead. And then now here, let's say you can get 44 out of 10 customers that call you or request information you can close.
Yeah.
That might be high for some, might be low. Some guys say, hey, 8 out of 10, but let's just start 4 out of 10,
Sure.
40%. So based on that, you only need to spend $46 a day.
Okay.
Now it means you need 70 leads a month, 2 leads per day. So about 1,400 a month.
Okay.
Well, let's just say, well, I can't spend that much. I can do 20 a day. So that still gets you 13. That still gets you 12 customers a month.
Right. Right.
So that's still pretty good. And then,
I was gonna say,
yeah, even at 20 a day, $600 a month, which doesn't seem like a lot, but some shops are honestly spending that a little bit around that or a little bit more.
right.
So for a local shop, that's actually not bad
Okay.
if it's set up correctly, So that's Google Ads.
It all comes down to that, like, the cost per acquisition and then
Yeah.
the amount of profit they can make in that
Yeah,
transaction.
exactly.
If they're selling cakes, that's not
Yeah.
going to work out.
Right.
But
And
yeah, Aaron,
and then-
you're fidgety. I can tell you want to ask a question.
Yeah, super. So when I hear you say, well, this is a small local shop, maybe they can't afford 1,400
Right.
a month.
Right.
Okay, so is it 3 months before they start seeing that return and then it makes sense? So
Right.
at that point, it's like now you actually are spending $1,400 a month with no return for 3 months. And then after that, it'll start paying you back. Because I'm thinking if they get an extra person a day, an extra car a day, that's times $3,000. Let's say it's only 30% profit. Okay, 3 days in, or they've paid it. Like they're in the black. So
Yeah.
there is
100%.
no spending at this point.
Right.
It's like, oh my God, like why don't we do 5 extra cars a day? Let's bump it
Right.
up to $4,000 a month. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing with most of these shops like that. If they got one car in the whole month, that basically pays for their
whole ad
average-
spend.
their ad spend, and most likely pays for us to help them too. So that's right there, and then they can increase it. So that's what we see is most of these
start
shops,
off a little smaller. They start seeing return. They go, this is working. Let's dump money in it.
Yeah,
and
so
then
most
go
shops,
from
I mean, if they're doing 50 a day, I think, a shop we started helping with a couple months ago, he's now saying I'm so booked up that
I need to turn it off.
yeah.
Wow.
That's why we don't want to do too much, but
Right.
I think they're only doing 50 a day. So
Wow. That
Okay.
like really is like the term like I use is the profit faucet. So when you can choose to turn it on or turn it off, like when you're too full, too booked up, okay, we turn it off.
yeah,
But we don't want it to turn it off completely. We kind of want to like leave it just dripping, something.
You don't have to reprime it. Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense. And so is there, since you're working in a fairly niched area where it's auto, but it's multiple ways, is there where you go, oh no, typically this would take 3-4 weeks to really start making some momentum? Because I know it's like a snowball. You got to start small and build it, and then you start seeing the return. Have you noticed anything that's fairly predictable? And is that kind of why you stay in that one area?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's predictable for Google or Facebook. for Google, the piece is, and if you're familiar with Google Ads, it needs data.
Mm-hmm.
Data meaning clicks. So people are clicking on what you want. But then if you go back and see, I wanted an auto body search, but I actually got auto body cleaning or something that
Right.
says auto body, but it's similar. It's not the same thing.
Right.
Now you got to go and can't say, no, I don't want that. So ideally you plug in those to begin with, but sometimes you can cancel it out too much to start with. You got to dial it in.
Right. Your negative
So-
keywords, right? Or negative
Exactly.
keyword phrases.
But for some of these, like paintless dent repair, if you do too much negative, then now you're canceling out what you want. So paintless can be, you might get a painting search. So you might have some crossover.
Yeah.
Anyway, then you need people who have called and converted or converted on the landing page. So once Google sees what you want, they give you more of that.
Yeah.
That can happen quickly. That can happen the first month. And I mean, we see it happen the first month. But then the more data you get, the better it works out the next month after that. I mean, to me, my goal is that it starts working the first month. And then we do see results the first month on that.
Yeah.
But then it just gets better and better for Google because it's getting more data.
Right.
For Facebook, if I don't see leads within a few days or a week, then there's something wrong.
Okay.
Because it's not going to get better. It's just there's something wrong with it.
Okay.
Now those Facebook leads,
So,
I'm assuming they're like warm leads where the Google leads are hot leads.
yeah, it can be. So it can be different, and like I tell people, hey, Google is people actually searching for your service.
Right.
They actually need it now. Facebook is people wasting time looking at cat videos. no one's looking for detailing or auto body or paint, whatever it is on Facebook. They're just wasting time all day. But the fact that they're wasting time we know that they're there and we can target them because of their demographics and what they're most likely interested in. And Facebook probably just heard you say, or they know because they know 52,000 data points on you and probably growing, that you just got in a car accident or you were in a hail zone or
Right.
I got a dent or something. I mean, if you start talking about something right now, chances are you're going to see an ad for that later.
Yeah.
So
But they're not listening to us. They promise.
Yeah, they're not listening. So that's how we can kind of take advantage of that and use it for our benefit.
Yeah, it makes sense too. Their guard is already down. They are relaxed looking at something for entertainment. And now that pops up and they go, oh yeah, they're not fighting it.
Yeah.
Like they would if they're specifically. I notice if I'm specifically searching for something and ads pop up, my brain tells me, don't look at the ads, look at the first organic search.
Yeah.
But sometimes ads say exactly what it is I'm looking for better than the organic search. So I have to go back up to it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, this person already gets what I'm doing. I don't have to dig for it. I get to shortcut it. I'm going to take that. But it really is in the verbiage, in the description, what it is they're saying in the ad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
If it isn't good, it isn't good. And if it's great, it's great. I don't know how else to explain.
And the thing about the ad, and some people say, well, a lot of people see it's an ad, so they skip it. I was like, some people might, but most people, especially if they're looking on Google Maps or even on search, they'll usually click that first one.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I've gotten people tell me, hey, I'm getting calls for this other body shop, this specific place. I was like, yeah, that's the idea, that you take their business. But but it's so bad or good that they looked it up on Google Maps and my client came up, but they clicked it to call them thinking that they were calling another place where their car was actually already at. So they're calling them to get a status update on it because my client came up in that search.
Right.
So if you're looking for Bob's Auto Shop, but it's actually, or Bob's Auto Body, but it's this other guy's thing that comes up for Auto Body, now you just taken his potential client.
That was gonna be one of my questions for specifically like Google search ads, right? So do you ever identify like the high performing competitors and go after them as a keyword?
Only if they're not already a client.
Well, right.
So the biggest ones for body shop related stuff, it will be Caliber Collision.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have any around here, but around most big cities they have those. And people, I mean, that's an actual search. It can be thousands of searches per month. Now, I mean, people might take them there for their insurance already, but if
Right.
they're just looking for a collision shop and that comes up, then maybe you can take that business. So Caliber might be one of those ones that may not need to advertise. I say that, but then again, I talked to an actual franchise owner, an repair franchise owner uh, in Virginia last month, and we're waiting to see if we're going to work together. Who you would think, wait, you've got this franchise, don't they give you business? And you pay them quite a bit per month, but they're not. They're still doing ads, and they're
Yeah.
still like, well, I still need more people. So just because, and it goes to tell you, just because you're a franchise doesn't mean that the customers come in, unless maybe you're
Right.
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, I mean,
Right.
Chick-fil-A, McDonald's may not, but then again, I think they are doing advertising. Even
Yeah,
Apple.
they absolutely still do. Yeah.
So
Yeah. The reason I ask, like, so I've seen that work for, I don't want to say startups, but smaller businesses that are just kind of like, they're not known yet.
right.
And so if they're kind of going after an established business, again, this is like locally, right? Where it's a direct competitor that just in going after like that, basically that business, that competitor's business name, it gives people an alternative,
Yeah,
and it brings that to them into the audience's awareness where they weren't there before. So,
yeah.
um,
The one,
and you
yeah,
still have to look at like how well that performs, right? So it
right.
might just be wasted clicks, or it might be or displays, but
Yeah. If it's so, the one thing to be careful about would be if it's a trademarked name. So in some cases, we see you can't put BMW in the name, BMW Collision, in the actual
sure.
description because that's trademarked. But you could put that in a keyword
Right.
search,
Right.
even though you may not need to because you've got auto body and collision. It should capture it regardless. But that's the only thing to be careful of, is that if that local business has a trademark name, so Bob's Restaurant,
Right.
if that's trademarked, then yeah, you wouldn't want to list that in your actual description or headlines, but
Right.
you
Right.
could put that in the back end, the keyword in the search.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like you would be able to find if you're bidding on the same keywords, like auto body repair, whatever. You're just competing anyway. But I was thinking more of like, yeah, if someone is searching for Bob's Auto Repair or Bob's auto body, then Jim's Auto Body is added Bob's Auto Body as a keyword so that they show up next to the organic results of Bob's, depending on how good Bob's SEO is, I guess.
Yeah. 100%.
So I mean, and I don't know, like, are you messing with any SEO stuff? If you are, like, has that changed in the last, year or
Yeah.
two?
So for SEO, we don't specifically do. I mean, we don't specifically do that for clients as much, because most of them, they need leads now,
Right.
or this
Right.
and hey, you should do both,
We should. Yeah.
but it's a matter of, well, they have money to spend on this or that, and like, okay, yes, SEO eventually it will catch up unless Google changes the algorithm, but
Right.
but yeah, if you want leads now and continue to do that, then this is the way to stay on top. One thing I do tell people, and the easiest way I would suggest for almost any business for the SEO portion is videos, because
Okay. Yeah.
it's easy to do. It's easy to do videos, but it's also easy not to do it. Most people don't want to be on video.
Right.
And as much as I'll tell people to do it, hey, get on video and do this, make your business a reality show. Because people look at these ridiculous reality shows about anything, and it's like people, going through trash, and I love this. Most of the things, I mean, our parents or grandparents would think we're crazy for watching a home repair show, right?
Right. Right.
But now almost any restaurant, any business can be that same thing. And the way you can do it for SEO is okay, you do a video, put it on Facebook, YouTube, and if you put the titles and the descriptions in both of those, they actually show up on search. So most people don't realize in Facebook business, it wouldn't be your personal page, but on your Facebook business page, you can put in those titles, descriptions, tags that will actually show up on Google search.
Right.
Same thing for YouTube. And so if you do that, I mean, imagine if you did a video per day. It'd be hard to do, but if you did one per day and then had that, it's 30 videos a month. Even if you did 10 a month, I mean, you could have 300 and within 6 months, you'd probably be dominating the local area.
Yeah.
So,
Well, gosh, I mean, imagine if I'm imagining if I was like an auto body repair shop, like, you know, taking a video of the car, like, here's what it looked like before, and then once it's all ready, like, hey, and here we are now. And like, if you're just churning out those like befores and afters, people love befores and afters, whether it's
Yeah,
you know,
the
cars or,
transformation. Anything transformative, people
Right.
get sucked into it immediately.
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And the transformation things, I mean, the one thing that people think, and a lot of these car guys think that, oh, I can just walk around and show this beautiful car, and that's good. But the interesting thing we've seen is that you get better results by doing a selfie of your team, or doing a picture of a guy standing there working on a car.
Right.
And it could be a group in front of a dirty RV, dirty boat, whatever, and it gets better results because you see people in it.
There's humanity in the picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a video of people doing the thing, or just a picture.
It's so funny. That really does tap into our psychology. When you see someone experiencing something, we tend to project and see ourselves in that experience. We feel the camaraderie of all of the people standing there in front of that business or in front of that thing. And we think, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to go. That's where I want to take my thing. So it makes way more sense than somebody walking around. They go, well, my car's not that shiny. They're not thinking, I wish my car was that shiny. I should take it there and have it polished. Nope. They're just saying, man, those are the people I want to work on my car. So I totally agree. I think you've nailed it with that.
So is that what you're doing? You know, I know we've talked in the past where you're like, you know, you'd be like, hey, you were telling me, you were, because you're holding me accountable. You're like, hey, dude, grab your phone and just like, hey, you know, this is what I'm doing today and blah, blah, blah. And if you need help with whatever, like, give me a call. Like, I know you've encouraged me to do that. I'm coming around. I'm working on stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I do some of that. I do some videos like that. I mean, I think it's probably more powerful for a local business. That's
Sure.
For marketers. Yeah, you could do it too. And I think, well, what I've done is kind of video, like we're doing. I'll do a workshop and I'll send it out to my list and say, hey, I'm doing a workshop tomorrow on this and this and this for auto shop growth. And if people show up, great. If they don't, and the funny thing is, you think, oh, I need hundreds of people in there, and then you have none.
Right.
The point is not that you're going to sell on the video. That you can do that, but the point is that you're taking that video and now you're putting it on YouTube, and you can strip it out and do dozens of reels and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But on YouTube now, you can literally rank those for those search terms, especially if it's kind of niched down, and then that will help you show up on search.
Are you saying you promote the workshop, and then let's say no one shows up? You still post and present the workshop, and you just record yourself, because realistically, when you're watching somebody present, you don't know if there's 0 audience, 40 people, 2 family members, or 1,000 people there. So you do that, you post, and then you clip it all up and you post all the videos anyway. But then if people are watching those, then they'd go, well, I need to go to the next one. So it really does make sense to do it anyway. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, sometimes having those people on there can be a distraction,
right?
But because you're seeing their faces and all that stuff, and usually I'll just try to have it on focus mode or whatever the software is that you're using, so that you don't see all those people. It can help depending on what your goal is, but if it's going on YouTube, you really don't want all that extra stuff. You don't want to show all those comments, because unless you're trying to, have a recorded webinar where it looks like you're talking to a bunch of people, and people do that, but usually you can kind of tell. You're like, wait, this is recorded and I'm making a comment. No one can see it.
Okay, so you're just recording it, like sitting
Yeah.
here doing the workshop. It's not you hosting it at a local
No,
back room at a Denny's kind of a thing.
no. I mean, if I was there, yeah, I would definitely. I mean, I've done some speaking engagements where, yeah, we'll record the whole thing. But as far as the webinar here, I'll have my little background and share my screen and share PowerPoint and different stuff like that. Share the little calculator and all those things and go through it like I would. It's almost like
It
going
is
through.
almost better to not have the distraction of people in there doing it.
Yeah, those have a place. It kind of depends on who you're going after. I mean,
Sure.
auto shop people may not even care that you're doing a speech there. But if your market cares, then that can help. That can be beneficial.
Okay.
Yeah, just recording that presentation, putting it on YouTube, and obviously having the right keywords, the right titles, descriptions, all those things they do help.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't think it would be that. And this whole strategy I've kind of followed from another guy who works with agencies. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys. Like you guys, this is where we differ. While I could absolutely like present, and I could have like the TV and here's my notes, my PowerPoint. I would it would be much easier for me to just get up in front of people and just go.
Right.
But that is very much me. And I think I would have probably my list of things I wanted to get through, and then I probably wouldn't get through them, or it would end up being a lot longer because I would feed off of the audience and like try to pull questions out of them and make it more organic. But it's also, I think it's probably, that seems like more fun to me, and so of course that's why I would want to do that, and I would thrive. I feel like I would thrive more in that situation because it's more fun. But so I mean, James, you also no, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm like, if you're hearing what he's saying is you do one by yourself.
Yeah.
Then creates the audience for the next one to fill the room. Because if you wait until you fill a room,
that's true.
You're never going to fill the room. To be able to do it in person.
I was just gonna hire. I was gonna hire paid actors to fill the room. Just.
Well, I mean, if you want, I could do that for you too.
So, James, you have a podcast, right? You go through and you cover a lot of things. What's the name of your podcast?
Auto Shop Marketing Secrets. Auto Shop Marketing Secrets. Yeah.
Well, that is very much on brand.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of like the same videos. Sometimes it will be an intentional podcast, but for the most part, it's the video that I just did, stripping out the audio, putting it in the podcast format.
Okay. Yeah.
And again, my goal isn't necessarily that I'm getting thousands of subscribers and all that stuff, although that'd be nice because it's so niche. It's the point is that I am showing up in that search traffic or ranking for that specific term in Spotify or wherever it is.
Right. So right. And being seen as the expert.
Accumulated data, accumulated locations.
So with that, let me ask real fast, just because I have an interest and I've noticed something happening with mine. So I had started a podcast years ago and I hosted it on my website. Since then, we've not been doing that, I don't think, unless you've done it with the Growing Online Business, and I don't think you have. Not doing that. When I look, like 25% of my audience coming from Apple podcasts, and then 20% is coming from web browser, which means they're looking at the old episodes. And I notice I get a lot more traffic on the old episodes than the new ones. Are you hosting your podcast anywhere else besides just the standard podcast platforms? Are you also hosting it on your website or?
So I've got it on my website, but it's really, I don't think I'd say it's hosted there as an actual, like
just kind of embedded, right?
Yeah, it's basically embedded from, I believe it's either Spotify or Apple.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's what mine was doing as well. But each new episode was a separate post, and those posts would then show up when somebody did a search about that content.
Yeah.
But as a podcast, it doesn't go to Spotify with that podcast title. So that title wasn't getting found except through Google search through my website. That's what I found.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll upload it to Spotify, and then it'll be on Apple and Spotify and Amazon and I think a bunch of other places, and then we'll embed it on the website with kind of a full blog post
Okay.
with the intention that each of those content is basically adding more content
Sure.
on the website at these different locations. So
Okay.
that's
That
going
was
to be
my question. And
yeah.
then if it is hosted there, have you noticed much traffic coming from that? And if not traffic, like credibility from people that are interested in your thing, they see that, man, he's got a podcast, he's talking about it. I
Yeah.
listened to this. Has anybody ever brought up, like, I found you because I listened to you, to what you had?
Yeah. Usually from YouTube. It could be from the podcast as well. But they'll call me and I'm thinking, or they'll fill out the form or just book an appointment. I'm thinking, where did they come from? And then they'll, half of the way through the conversation, they'll say, well, I found you on YouTube because I searched for this term and you were the first one that came up and I saw a bunch of your videos and I watched that. Funny thing was, a few months back, a guy said, well, I did everything you told me to do. I did everything and it's not working. I was like, well, what'd you do? And like, well, I made a website, did a Google business page, and then I started Google ads, and he told me how many clicks he has. I'm like, so you spent about $500-600? He goes, yeah, 500 something in 3 days. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, then there's probably something wrong. I said, do you need my help? He said, yeah. That was kind of the easiest call I ever had. But he had watched the videos as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, sometimes you don't know if they listen to the podcast, the YouTube, all this stuff. It's usually whatever the last thing they did was. And
Yeah.
I'll have people say, well, I'll have clients that will ask their customers how they found us. And sometimes they'll say Google or something else. But I said, well, yeah, but they tell you the last place they found you, they may have seen you on Facebook. They may have gone to your website. They may have done Google ads. And then finally they pulled you up on Google Maps. So it's kind of a combination of all those things.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So are you like, obviously you're putting content out there. Like, how much of your process are you giving away for free, just kind of teaching people so they could do it on their own, and how much are you like holding back?
I mean, I've got full videos on there that are basically the same thing. I've got in a paid course, and some people have bought it. I haven't pushed it too much, but I've got videos that I've gone through. Here's how to actually set up Google ads and how to actually do Facebook. And
Yeah.
so I don't think it's necessarily bad that you show all that stuff, because even,
Right.
I mean, you can go on YouTube and learn anything. We could go on YouTube and I could try to figure out how to fix my car. It doesn't make me a mechanic.
Right.
And that's what I've learned. It's like, I tried to change my oil and I tried to change my brakes. It's probably better to go somewhere else. Go to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Right. Especially brakes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Goodness. I can tell you, just recently we got told this specific part on our car was broken. It needs to be replaced. And we're like, yep, sure does. And they're like, it's this much. And I was like, you are out of your mind. I am not paying that much. The part's like $150. You're charging me $1,800. This is ridiculous. So I went to YouTube and I looked it up on how to do it. And you have to pull the whole engine block and take the seats out and do that. And I was like, just convinced me to go to that guy, in $1,800 a bargain. And we took it directly to them. They did it in a day and we got it back. And I was like, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think posting how to do it is necessarily negative.
No.
Because you're not going, that convinced me, seeing the process, I'm not interested. And so then it made sense, and it put the value in what they were doing and what they were offering that they couldn't do by telling us, no, that's what it cost. I was like, sure it does. Like, the more they moved their mouth, the less I wanted to talk to them until I saw myself. And then I was like, oh my gosh, that makes sense.
Right.
So it really is one of those things where seeing is believing. I think you posting, this is what I do and how I do it, you're going to convince more people that I don't want to try that. Like, you could post in there how to do dental surgery. You're not going to, you might get one person being like, I could do that. But for the most part, no, like, they're not going to do it. They're going to go, oh, never mind. I want somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah. 100%. And most of the auto people, I mean, that we talk with, they have a hard enough time just logging into Facebook on their computer.
Right.
Some guys are very good. And I mean, honestly, actually, well, I've recently let go of a client who was too involved in it. And they spent a lot of money on Google ads. And it's one of those things where I said, he came back and said, I'm not getting the calls. I said, well, actually, you're getting the same amount of calls that you did last month, but you saved $2,000. So
Right.
that seemed pretty good to me. And then you could go in there and see the change history, and the guy had done 10,000 changes per month. I'm like, well, you're messing everything up.
Right. Right.
But most people are not like that. Most of the shop people are not like that. They're very good at some are still operators, some used to be, but technicians, and they're very focused on that as opposed to, oh, let me mess with the ads.
Right.
So
yeah, and there are those times where you have to fire clients, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's you want to do it in ways where you don't burn bridges and that kind of stuff, but it's
Yes.
like at a certain point, it's like, hey, I don't think that I'm actually like, going to be able to serve you well anymore. Like we've kind of, we're both growing, but in different directions. That's the nice way to put it. But so James, you also, I know recently you released a book. I saw that on Facebook. What's the name of the book? What's it about?
Yeah, it's called Auto Shop Marketing Secrets. I've got one here. Wasn't going to show it, but there you go.
Very nice. And it's a physical book. It's not like a PDF. That's awesome.
Yeah, physical book. So,
very cool.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, I kind of just took the advice of the same guy I was talking about before. I'll mention his name, Josh Nelson. He actually helps agencies. So he had an agency. He still has an agency that I think that helps certain customers and niche just like this. And then he wrote a book about it, and I'm like, oh, I basically copy everything his model, not what he does. And then he's got a higher paid group too. So, and in there is one of the things is here's one of the ways to become an authority and write a book. And I may have done this too early. I don't know. But anyway, I kind of just took a lot of the things that I did in the videos and just put it to paper.
That's awesome.
So, I mean,
very cool.
I would say, I mean, that I haven't seen a lot of growth from it yet, but I feel like it's going to really help. I mean, we just released it last month.
Yeah.
So,
well, I definitely want one, and I want you to sign it. So,
yeah.
And I will definitely read it because I mean, for me, it's information. I may not be going after specifically, like auto like repair shops, but there's certain things that are universal, right? When we're talking about marketing and advertising and just getting your message out and reaching people. So, I am constantly consuming information. So, I absolutely look forward to reading it. So, you're also I don't know if you don't have to talk about this, but you're also, I know you're on the school board here locally in Ozark. How has that experience been? Now you're like kind of being more and more inserted and connected to the community. What's that process look like? How has it been, being a public servant?
Yeah. I mean, I actually love it. I mean, it was completely unexpected, completely something I wasn't planning on doing. In fact, I'm planning on writing another book later, but
nice.
I've kind of told people before that if you knew me, I kind of said I never want to be in politics.
Right.
Having spent 7 years in DC, I saw a lot of that side, and I was like, no, I don't want to be in that. I mean, I was in the military, and you're in some kind of political piece there, but I didn't want that to be my role. But I know that there's, with my background and leadership and management and all these things, it's something I can put into use. And for me, as a Christian, part of my thing is to do what I feel God's calling me to do.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I had not planned to do it, but I think in 2023, I kind of keep a little journal and said, hey, what some prayer requests, and I don't know if people on this podcast will resonate with this, but I said, hey, what do you want me to do in, I think it was 2024. And probably a few weeks later, I got a call from a friend of ours who basically asked me to do that, said to run for school board. And I said, well, why don't you do it? I said, why don't you do it? if you feel so strongly about it.
Yeah.
And so they, she pushed back on a little bit more, and basically I kind of asked my wife and another friend of mine who I thought would have told me no. He said,
Right.
"Yeah, I think you'd be good at it." So then, through some more series of events, I kind of got more confirmation that okay, yeah, I should probably do this, and I knew I could do it. I just didn't feel like I should have done it. But then after that, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess I should do it. And I mean, when I ran for it and actually used some of my marketing skills for that, so ran ads, and it
Yeah.
definitely helped. And I really never encountered any kind of obstacles, any kind of blocks that would have suggested I shouldn't do it. But I mean, since being on it, I've really, I think I've had a lot of favor, um, and I've seen how impactful it can be at the local area.
Right.
So,
Right.
again, it wasn't something I wanted to do, but now I'm pretty excited about it. And so I've been on for about a year, year and a half or so.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
April 24. And yeah, so right now I'm on the vice president of the board. So it's kind of you're elected to the board, but then it's kind of an internal election that you do each year.
Okay.
So yeah, we're seeing a lot of things where, I mean, it's almost like another executive level position without getting paid. So it's almost what you make of it. But I think and I say we, my wife and I, and the team, we've done so much in the local area that I feel like it's making a good impact.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know that like you're getting clients from all over. You actually try to not get business locally. So it's
yeah,
not like you're using this public office to then
right.
elevate yourself and get local
Well,
business. So I don't know, man. I think it's awesome. We are kind of like going to wrap things up, but before we go, I definitely like if you have any tips for us, for our listeners, like if there's one thing or even
Right.
multiple, whatever, that you could recommend, like, hey, do this to grow your business, what would those be?
yeah, I mean, I think there's obviously a lot of things. It depends on where you're at in your business. I think probably for the people that we're talking to, most of the time I say the same thing about people who aren't growing
Mhm.
are probably not advertising. And it's not to push myself. It's just to say, hey, in order to get in front of those people, you have to advertise.
Yeah.
And I hear this from local area people and other people that say, well, how do I get how do you get customers? Oh, it's word of mouth referrals, or they'll say the economy's bad this time of year, or it's a bad season, the weather,
Yeah.
and all that stuff that is made up. Because I said, well, drive down the street and look at all these shops that are full.
Right.
People say, well, I never knew about that hole in the wall restaurant. The reason you didn't know about it is because they didn't advertise it.
Right.
And especially for a local place like that, like a restaurant, which has low margins, but still they need to do something. It wouldn't be that difficult to run Facebook ads a mile radius, a couple
Right.
miles out. You could, for $1 a day on a video, you can actually get quite a few views.
Yeah.
And it's a strategy we still do somewhat, but $1 a day with 5 videos, $150 a month, you can get 10 to 20,000 views.
Yeah.
Would that help your business? So now
It's
we're
not gonna
seeing
hurt it.
people spend a lot more than that, but just doing that can help you. But the big thing is, you got to get in front of the people who are searching for your business, and you can look this up in a few minutes on Google. You can see how many people are searching for your business in the local area or nation, nationally, whatever your target is. Then oh, there's actually a good demand for my business here, or look for the people who are in your local area on the platform that they use. So most will be Facebook or Instagram. So you really have to advertise is probably the number one recommendation on one of those platforms, and then building content. I mean, doing content daily, like I said, I've got some of these in the book about make your restaurant, make your shop, whatever it is, a reality show.
Yeah.
Post content every single day. It's not that hard to do. It's tedious, but you can do a video, and this is probably a second recommendation, I guess, is you can have a video about the owner, a manager, employees. You can interview employees. You can interview customers, get their approval first. Then you can talk about the service. So, I mean, you can do all those things with people without even talking about the service. And that gives you so much content every single day.
Yeah.
So,
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I was going to ask, are these aren't secrets. Obviously you're telling us, and you've kind of outlined some of those things, I'm guessing, in the book.
yeah.
As you said, you took your content, you put it out there. So yeah, dude, I'm excited. No, I definitely want one of the books. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, and we'll link the book, in your website and all your information in the show notes. Definitely, I gosh, it's funny that you say, advertising, right? Getting the word out, because literally I've had 2 conversations this week, and this is what I love about the podcast, because it tends to echo what's already happened like this week, or today, or it's just so funny. It happens time after time after time. And so I had 2 conversations this week about people not spending money on advertising. Like when the economy gets tight, or when things get tight, the first thing people do is pull money out of marketing and advertising. And I understand the temptation. I do. And I've been there. The problem is, if you need to tighten the reins, bring your overhead down. But the last thing you want to pull it out of is marketing and advertising, because that's literally how you're bringing in new business.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing else, double down. And I know that sounds self-serving, and I really don't intend it to. It's just that if you're going to stop bringing in new people, then where's the business headed?
Yeah, I think of it like, I love analogies, but I'm like, if you're a fishing boat and there's fewer fish, the last thing you do is cut up your net.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You don't cut the net loose and you go, there, now. Okay, so what do we do now? No, you tighten the net up. Like you work, that's where all of your time and effort is spent. If there's fewer fish being caught in it, you need a better net, or be working it better.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think people start out in a business because they like that specific business, that specific job, but they don't understand the marketing aspect. And it's really more marketing and sales than it is about you being good at that particular deal.
So
I mean, obviously you have to be good at it, but it's understanding, hey, I need to understand marketing and sales in order to grow my business.
Right.
And by the time people get around to it, if they're not doing well, then starting some of these may not help them out too much. So I think you have to plan a little early.
Awesome. With that being said, do you have and this may not be the proper term, but do you have a litmus test for marketers? Because there's going to be people listening to this and they go, oh my God, there is somebody who does marketing. They've been hitting me up a lot. They've been going for, how do you know, is there a way to tell that the person actually knows what they're talking about? Because I find that there's like a dime a dozen marketers out there, and you talk to them for 3 minutes, and then you talk to them about, well, you haven't even asked me about who's my target client, like who I'm trying to get. And you're telling me about how much I should be spending without even asking who the target is or what it is I'm trying to accomplish. Is there something that people could do in the first 3 to 5 minutes of talking to somebody to go, this is somebody who knows what they're talking about, or this is somebody who doesn't?
Yeah. That's a good question. Yeah. I mean, we see a lot of marketers that you kind of give people a bad, you kind of give the industry a bad rep, but then again, there's bad lawyers, bad everything.
Yeah.
There can be bad auto people, right? So,
right.
I mean, it'd be good if you can look at the reviews, but a lot of times people won't leave a lot of those, because they probably don't want to say how good they're helping with their business.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a specific niche based like mine is, that can be a good test to say, oh, you're focused on restaurants, you're focused on plumbing, then that would probably be a better test to say, oh, you actually understand my industry. And that's what a lot of guys like what we're doing, is that, oh, you actually understand what PDR is. You actually understand how to do that, as opposed to just, generalmarketers.com that will do anything. Because sometimes they don't understand that, oh, I don't need to convert with directions. I need to convert with phone calls and this other thing.
Yeah.
So if you could ask them how well they know your industry, that would probably be a good test.
Okay.
my own personal, because that's a hard question to answer. But I would think if you ask them like what, especially if they're going to be spending money on advertising, but let's say
Sure.
just spending money with, if you're supposed to be spending money with this company, this agency, this consultant, whatever, ask them what the return is going to be.
Yeah.
Right. So my own personal opinion is that if I can't at least 5x what someone's spending with me, then I probably shouldn't be doing work with that person. And so,
Yeah.
I don't serve a specific industry, but based on what I'm seeing, when someone comes to me, it might be like a restaurant is a really good example. Like they're not high, profit machines as far as like per transaction, right?
Yeah.
So it would take a lot of transactions to 5x whatever they're spending on advertising or marketing or website or whatever. And so maybe that's not a good fit. But like auto industry, that actually is a pretty high value customer, high value transactions. So it's easier to make up that 5-time return, so that's what I would look at. And I think a good honest range is 5 to 10x,
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong, like there are times where if you're just breaking even, that might be a positive depending on what kind of, is it breaking even in the beginning, but they're a recurring customer and the lifetime value is, 200 transactions or something like that's a different thing. But yeah, I think looking at what the return would be is it's a hard thing to answer too, as a marketer, right?
No, I agree. And actually, interestingly enough, on my calculator here, I actually have the shop ROI, shop potential ROI. I mean,
yeah, there you
I
go.
would also be very leery about marketers who guarantee XYZ.
Yeah.
I'm going to guarantee you this many appointments or this many calls. And
right.
You can do it. And I might be able to say I can guarantee something, but to those people that say that, I said, well, I don't own Google or Facebook. I know how to use it pretty well, but since I don't own it, I can't guarantee anything.
That's it.
Except I guarantee my hard work, and that's,
Exactly.
I guarantee the same level of effort that I gave the country for the last 21 years. So that's kind of what we say is we don't guarantee those results because, well, just like any financial industry, you can't guarantee that stuff.
Can't guarantee you. Yeah.
So, but yeah,
I like that you said, I guarantee you'll get my hard work though. Like that's
exactly. Yeah.
Man, I would trust that.
And I tell them if we're not able to help you, then I'll get rid of, I'll stop doing it myself. So
yeah.
Cause we don't want to take people's money that we're not actually helping.
That's right.
Sure.
So,
yeah. And some you can, some you can't. I think I really like the idea that it's like, no, these are the types of customers. And just from everything we've seen so far, we've been able to help all of these different people that are all basically in the same industry working with automotives. Right. So, okay. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, James, thank you for spending some time with us. Like it has been fun. I've learned some things and hopefully you had a good time. Like I said, we'll put your links and everything in the show notes. Before we go, is there any last thing, you want to say to the world, because we have we're right there behind Joe Rogan. So if there's anything you want to tell the world, now is your time.
Oh, I got a lot of things. I mean, I guess I would say, generally speaking, not marketing speaking, is, whatever your goal is, go for your goals and your dreams because you don't know how long you have. Make an impact on the world that you have, on the world around you. Use your skills and abilities and experiences that God's giving you to help people.
Yeah.
And don't limit yourself. Don't limit your business, your family by what you think you can do. So I think you can really accomplish anything you want with God's help.
That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it again. And to everyone else, until next week, mind your business. Hey, this is CJ. Are you interested in step-by-step walkthroughs of the tactics we're using to grow our businesses? Then check out Season 7 of the Grow an Online Business podcast. Formerly released exclusively to our Minding Your Business After Hours patrons, these episodes are available to listen to now for free. Search Grow an Online Business on Spotify or follow the link in the podcast notes to go directly to episode 1 of Season 7. Hey, thanks for for listening to the Mining Your Business podcast. Your hosts are Aaron Gerals and me, CJ Jolliffe. If you want to find out more about us or when we're going live or follow us on socials, just go to our website, mybpodcast.com. And again, thank you so much for listening.